So this is my homemade bandsaw blade sharpener. Yeah, I kind of built out all that stuff that you collect over the years. Had to buy a couple things. That chainsaw sharpener from Chicago, Harbor Freight, it's called the Chicago. That's scrap steel, scrap rods that I have around. I had to buy the springs and the knob. That's a piece of plywood that I made my cam. Of course, there's a rheostat. It's a 12 volt. It runs the motor here back. Got that motor. It comes from China. It used to be 11 bucks. I paid 33. That's what sanctions will do for you. There's a 12 volt battery that I already had. Had to make a new bracket to hold the grinding wheel, but I made it adjustable so I can turn it to the 3 different angles, but they're just, you have to set it. I don't have any quick, those are old square tubing off of a canopy that I had that the windstorm come along and left the legs staked to the ground, took the canopy away. You know, you save all that junk. And a piece of plywood that my daughter threw out in my yard one day. And that's the base of my original table saw. I set it on, of course it's too short to work on it, so I set it up on the jack stands. But all told, I've got about $80 tied up into this creation. If you look at the advancing rod, another guy on the internet that used the same design, and I've seen this same design in the mill where I work when it comes to air cylinders. I got the double rod to keep it from twisting, but you can adjust it forward and back. Of course, the up and down is just a flat rod. So you can see in there an old junk bearing that I had in my drawer, but you can buy one of them at the hardware. I used the yellow knobs there. That's the adjustment for up and down, and I utilize that. On the end of the pivot rod, I welded just a flat piece of bar on it. I put a pock mark in it with a drill bit so that bolt sits down in it. A couple pieces of angle iron for my guide. That's aluminum angle iron, and I determined the height that I wanted my blade by putting those 2 bolts in. You can see that the blade rides on, and that's just tight enough to keep it in line. Doesn't slow it down. You have to make it kind of loose. They're one of the things I ran into right where the factory welded the blade together. It started binding up on me in there. As a matter of fact, that's the spot right there on the other blade. So we'll see how this one does. So it's not perfect, but I'll tell you what, it sure beats paying money for brand new blades, using them for 3 logs, and then hanging them up. And I can't afford $800 to $1,400 for the factory built ones. Mine does the same thing. So there it is, folks. I like it.